So one of the reasons that Tim Berners-Lee was always so passionate about the web and bringing it forward was as a place where genuinely participative conversations could be had. You know, a democratic forum was very much how he saw it.
That was one of the founding principles. That's really why Tim gave it away, why he went for open and, as a result, democratic. We thought we knew what democracy was. Do we have a democracy in the UK or the US? The whole meaning of democracy is changing, and I think clearly that politicians are embracing the web and the social networks because it's a way to get their message out, and they see that.
Modern democratic governments have no choice but to embrace the web. It gives them access to their electorate. It allows them to deliver their own messaging more effectively. So there's no question that democratic governments have to embrace the web. And it is a place where you could bring huge numbers of people together to have conversations around laws, particular attitudes to topics, the kind of participation that politicians will always talk about. We want a more participative democracy. We want people more engaged. Of course, careful what you wish for. I mean, the web can clearly bring hundreds of thousands of individual voices to the attention of the political class, and they've got to work out what to do with it.
But what the consequences of this are going to be and who will benefit down the line, I don't think we really know. We might not need party politics. We might just have, if you think of the science fiction world of the governments, it's a very different world that science fiction writers have described to the one we have now, and I think the web could be an agent for that type of change.
So one of the great examples of the power of the web in a political context was the Arab Spring. And I recall talking to Wael Ghonim, and he was the Egyptian who wrote the Facebook campaign that really kicked off the Egyptian revolution. He has this great phrase that the power of the people is greater than the people in power. And he was saying that effectively it was the web and the agency of the web that allowed him and others to take on an autocratic state and then get a whole wider global interest around this story that mobilized to a level and at a speed that people hadn't seen before.
I think as history plays out, we may see it differently. Clearly, changing the regime hasn't brought about democracy in those areas. So whilst the web may have been perceived as having a democratic influence, it ain't as simple as that in real life. You know, some of those countries have never had anything other than autocratic or dictatorship regimes, and to suddenly think that because people can tweet and email, the country's going to become a democracy is really quite naive, I think. But it, for sure, that it is bringing about change. It's enabling change, but the consequences are, many years down the line, and we don't know what they'll be.